Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lara Waldman. I am the Abundance Activator, and it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Joanna Soley, the business angel. Welcome, Joanna.
Hi, thank you. Welcome.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here. And we are going to speak today about boundaries in your business, which is a really big and important subject, especially for women. We're going to talk a bit about the importance of that today. But first, I'd like to introduce you to Joanna. So Joanna is the go-to expert for women who want to transform their business in a holistic way. She helps female heart-centered entrepreneurs who are overwhelmed with their marketing attract more clients and make their business easy, which is super awesome. It's what we all want. So what I'd love to ask you first, Joanna, if you could tell us about your experience around boundaries in your business, because I know it wasn't always sort of straightforward for you. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that. Like, what was happening for you around boundaries in your life, in your business up until, more recently?
So I believe that we educate and teach people how to treat us. So I've always been quite a giver, and I work really from my heart center. So in life, I like to give a lot. There, you hear the radiators and drains. But the more we give, we need to make sure that we're receiving as well. And as heart-centered female entrepreneurs and as sensitives, we kind of feel it's our job to really, really hold the space for our clients, to really look after our clients, to really overgive to our clients. And of course, our clients are very important to us. It's our center. It's why we do the work that we do. Mm-hmm. However, if we're delivering and over-delivering on a constant basis, then we are energetically telling people how to teach us. So then treat us. So maybe it's okay to ring us really, really, really early. It's okay to message us really, really, really late. It's okay not to pay us on time. It's okay that they paid for 5 hours work and we did 10. So these are, big examples, and they haven't always happened to me, but I see them happening a lot with my clients, that you book for an hour and they give 3 hours, that they pay for a report and they do 3 reports, that they say it's 7 days and they wait 30 days. And Doreen Virtue's written an amazing book. It's called Assertiveness for Earth Angels, and it's all about the boundary piece, because I believe that I've got a job sheet from heaven, and that is to help women with my feminine energy to move them forward in their businesses using masculine systems, because I've got a lot of masculine in my chart, lots of Leo, lots of Aries, lots of lots of action, lots of power, lots of Mars. However, if I don't look after me, if I don't do the self-care piece, if I don't fill myself up first, then I can't look after anyone else. And that happened to me early on in my business, that I nearly suffered from burnout because of giving too much to everyone else.
Yeah, there's a really high cost, isn't there? So what do you notice? So in case some women may not realize they're not setting clear boundaries or overgiving, what are some of the symptoms of not having clear boundaries in your business, of overgiving? What are some of the kind of negative experiences of that?
I think you end up resenting your clients and the time that you're giving. You kind of need to set the stall very, very early on, and I suggest having a contract, how you work with people, and within here it's like kind of a code of conduct, how you're going to treat people and how you expect to be treated. And it doesn't have to actually say those words, but it's just the energy of how you're working, because if you don't, you end up over-delivering, over-giving, undercharging, and it's not sustainable. So and one of the huge errors here is charging back by the hour, because you're saying that I'm only worth this much per hour. It's much better to charge by the results that you get, the people, the transformation, the change, you know, what you bring to the table, and package that up. So have a program in a container across a few months, which is what you're delivering. Because very often when you charge by the hour, you know, we've got so much to do in our business that we don't get paid for. So you need to factor this in. And by the hour, it just feels too old paradigm now.
I know I shifted from that, pay-as-you-go model to the package model in my business, and it was quite incredible. And also you get better results for your clients that way as well, don't you?
Yeah.
It's more effective for everybody. So what do you think stops women from, charging appropriately, for sort of setting boundaries in their business? What's going on for women that makes them undervalue themselves, over deliver? What have you noticed is like a kind of a core thing going on there?
I think this varies for a lot of women in general, but the ladies who I help, there's an underlying pattern of I don't feel good enough. So when and they've got a massive message for the world, and I normally work with therapists, heart-centered entrepreneurs, coaches, musicians, authors, writers, artists, and they will have a massive message, but when it comes to asking for money or pricing, then they don't feel they can put a price on their gift. So I think that's huge. That's I see that a lot. What was the other part of the question? Sorry.
Just wondering what's going on, like on a deeper emotional level, with undervaluing ourselves, undercharging, not setting boundaries.
So it would definitely be not good enough. And also when it comes to pricing, people kind of look externally and see what people are charging. And what then happens is they think, oh, well, the market's only worth this, so I can only ask for this amount. And then they probably haven't got in front of the right people, or they're not sharing the benefits or the solutions, or they're not putting in words what they're actually doing for people, what they're bringing to the table. So therefore it's their ideal client, it's just passing them by, and then they tell themselves, because they haven't got their message right, their client right, the package right, the marketing mix right, then they say it's not working, I'm charging too much. They put their prices down, and then they end up doing it for free. But it's not about the charging, it's about carving a niche and standing in that. And then part of that, to carve a niche, you need to stand in it. To stand in it, you need to be visible. So you need to put your head above the parapet. And not everyone's going to like you. And that's absolutely fine. You don't want everyone to like you, because you want your ideal clients to like you. You want your ideal clients to find you. However, what happens is some people will unfriend you, or some people will be jealous, or some people will be thinking, who is this person? Who does she think she is? And then in light of that can then bring our stuff up.
Yeah, it can trigger some of our deepest fears and our deepest insecurities, can't it? It's a really big process. But you help people with that, don't you? About how to get really clear on your ideal clients and all the marketing strategy around that. Hey, do you find that you support clients with that whole process, like even on the emotional level a bit, about how to work through all that?
Yeah, but that's the most important part, because if they're not, nothing works unless you do. And that's not just sitting down every day and taking consistent, persistent action. That's being in alignment, and your mindset will affect your bank balance. So if you're not in a right place, then you're not going to attract the right people, and you're not going to be able to serve them. You're not going to be able to hold the space and deliver. So you need to work on you as much as you do in your business. And that's massive for me. I'm born on the 4th of the 4th. 4 is a workaholic number. I don't have an off button. You know, it's painful for me not to work. It's pain, and a lot of my clients are like this. I'm not good at stopping, but I know that I need to do the self-care piece. I know I need to take time out. Otherwise, I burn out. So, and I was very ill a few months ago because of this. And then I looked, we've got so much information at our fingertips now. You know, it's what we're putting into our bodies, what we're putting into our minds. And then that really affects how you show up in your businesses.
Absolutely. So that's why it's so important for us to create clear boundaries, for our just overall health and our ability to serve our clients and our ability to share our gifts with the world. So
yeah, definitely. And then energetically, you'll attract the right people who you want to work with, who are in alignment with you, who are in alignment with your message, who are in alignment with your business, and you'll enjoy working with them. And you know, you always pay. If you don't pay in time, you pay in money. And that goes back to pricing. If you're not charging what you're worth and owning that and telling people this is what I'm worth, then you're going to attract the people who you don't really want to work with because it's not an energetic fit for you.
And that's when work starts to feel like hard work, doesn't it? When it's not in flow.
Yeah, and then you end up resenting it. Like, should I be doing this? Nobody's bothered about me. There's 60 million other bone therapists or artists or coaches in the world. Why am I any different? And you lose sight.
Yeah, why you're even doing it, I suppose.
Yeah,
and that's a very dark and challenging place to be. So to me, setting clear boundaries is essential. It's not really it's not something we have a choice with. If we're going to thrive in our business, we're going to thrive in our lives, we have to learn how to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, things just tend to not flow so well.
And that's the key word, learn, because a lot of us, depending on our background, we weren't taught boundaries. I know in my family, I didn't know what boundaries were until I started this journey of personal and self-development. I thought the more, unless I was a good girl, then I got in trouble. So to be a good girl, then I'd have to work hard. And you bring that into life, into schooling, into, your work relationships, etc. So I thought, as long as I'm giving, everyone's going to like me. But no, as long as I'm giving, everyone's going to take advantage, because not consciously, it's human nature. So we need to teach people how to treat us.
I guess by treating ourselves that way first, right?
Exactly.
Giving yourself what you need. It's interesting because I found that I was pretty good with boundaries, but because I had the same thing of wanting to give to everyone, wanting to help everyone, and anyone who was suffering or in pain, I assumed that they wanted help. And so what I found I did, which was my sort of boundary thing, is I was giving to people who weren't really asking for what I did. I assumed that just because someone was in pain or suffering or they were struggling meant that they wanted help. And it took me a long time to realize that wasn't the case. And this is why I think the ideal client is so important, that you need to find the person who's a perfect fit for what you do, because I found that I was giving way too much energy and getting exhausted and burnt out and then not enjoying what I did. But when I found the right fit, it's like, it feels effortless. It doesn't even feel like work. And it's really joyful when it's the right fit. And I get energized by it. And so it really was a kind of a long and slightly painful journey to realize, this isn't for everybody. there's a perfect group of people who this is for. But sometimes we learn that through trial and error, don't we? The things not going so well first, and then we kind of stumble through and figure it out.
Yeah, because some people are addicted. Well, we're all addicted to our emotions, chemically addicted. But some people are ready to get out of their own way and move on. And if they're not, then we can't help them.
Yeah.
And I know that I've had friends and people in the past that I've given, you know, my time to, or I've done a bit of free work or help them, but they haven't done anything with it.
Exactly.
Because A, there's no exchange, and B, they don't value it because they haven't paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I found exactly the same. And I think that's the really interesting thing about human psychology around how we value things. And that's why it's so important to have our packaging right and have our pricing right, because those clients then that invest in working with you are the ones that are really going to show up and do the work and action what you teach. And then everyone's happy, and it's like a win-win all around. I've had the same. I used to give my services away. I used to give so many free sessions. I used to reduce my pricing. I hardly charged anything because, you know, my heart, I just wanted to help people. But I found that actually I didn't get the results with those people that I get with the people who pay me my full rate, my full package now. And in fact, as my price point increased, I found the results I was getting with clients also increased. And I thought, that's so interesting. Like, humans are interesting like that. But those who are really investing their time, their energy, and their transformation are then going to do the work, aren't they? So I think it's really important, even for the client or whoever you're working with and serving, that your pricing is in alignment, that you're valuing and honoring yourself, almost to give a better service. And that's what it's kind of seems like back to front, but that's what I've discovered to work best anyhow.
No, definitely. And I think the more, you know, it's universal law that the more we know that we're on path and we show up and we deliver to the right people and we charge what we're worth and we're clear on our message and, you know, we work in integrity, then the right people cannot not show up. Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And that's where it feels quite magical, isn't it? And that's what I think it's so important that, you know, and I'm so thankful that people like you exist, because this is what you do. You help people to really get clear on their message, you get clear on their niche, you get clear on their marketing and how to draw in those people, and all the kind of the holistic tools you use around it as well, which creates, you know, balance in your business as well as a successful business. So I think it's really awesome that you do what you do, because I know that it's essential that we get, you know, we get support in our business. Yeah, I'm not sure it's even possible to do this alone.
No, and you can't, sometimes you're too close to it, you can't see. I've got an amazing marketing coach and she helps me. And she helps me see like my stuff, and she helps me see what I'm good at and how I can move forward, etc., etc. But more importantly, it's the accountability piece, because it's amazing what you do when someone's watching.
Absolutely. So
it's just having, you know, it's lonely working on our own. It can be. And yeah, we've got online community and Facebook's a fantastic tool, but we do need a soul sister, a like-minded female to help us, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. And also, for example, like if you're setting boundaries for the first time with clients or in your business, that can be one of the scariest things ever. Putting up your pricing can be one of the scariest things you'll ever do. And to have someone there who's got your back and is holding your hand through that and holding you to actually actioning that, I think is essential. Because otherwise, I don't know if you can do it on your own. It's really hard to do it on your own. And someone, you know, you can kind of have a cry with or a freak out with, to hold your hand through that process is really important, because it's not easy setting boundaries for the first time. And you know, people don't always like it. You know, it's like if a little child is used to getting their way and then suddenly you say no, they're going to have a little tantrum. And sometimes adults are the same. But eventually, like children, we kind of learn to accept it and move on. But I think I believe we really need support and hand-holding through all this stuff. it just makes it a whole lot easier, and the journey a lot smoother, and allows for faster growth in our business as well, I believe, from my experience.
Yeah, definitely, because when you invest in yourself, then you are saying to the universe or divine, whoever, then I'm investing in myself, which gives my clients the permissions to invest in themselves.
Yeah.
So then it all filters down.
It does.
Because if you're not, investing in your business, or you're saying no to every opportunity that comes up because you can't afford it, then energetically, what's that saying to the universe? Why should other people invest in you if we're not developing ourselves?
Yeah.
They're trusting us to hold the space for them. So it's our job to invest in ourselves.
Yeah. And I find that when we do that inner work and that inner growth, that you're then open to receiving kind of a whole new level of work, that it just opens up the floodgates to receiving more. It's amazing. It's as within, so without, isn't it? The inner shifts create the outer shifts, and it blows my mind all the time. So, Joanna, it's been really, really wonderful talking to you. We could probably talk about the subject for hours because it's really super deep. But thank you for talking and highlighting the importance of creating healthy boundaries in our business, and actually how pricing and how we value ourselves with our pricing is connected to that. So Joanna's got a really a lovely offer for us. She's got a free giveaway for you that you're welcome to download. It's called the 7-Step Checklist to make your business easy and attract more clients. That sounds fab. So you need to go to her website, which is josoley.com. It's JOSOLEY.com, and that's where you can download your free gift. And also, if you want to speak to her and get more information from Joanna, just go to her website as well and contact her through there.
Thank you
again for joining us. It's been a great pleasure, and we'll speak to you again very soon. Lots of love.
Thank you very much.